Assalamu alaikum students, I hope you all are well, safe and healthy at home. Well, I'm your course instructor Farzana Khan with another topic which is phrases, clauses and sentences. So in today's class you are going to learn about phrases, clauses and sentences which are also called the building blocks of writing. So pay close attention to the lecture to understand all these grammatical concepts which are very important for learning and for improving writing skills. First of all, I'll tell you about the phrase. What is a phrase? A phrase has been defined as a group of words that does not have both a subject and a verb. Means a group of words that does not have both subject or verb. It can contain a subject or it can contain a verb, because if there is a subject and there is a verb, then it will be a sentence, not a phrase. But phrase is the part of a sentence. It's the part of a clause. So in other way we can say it's a grammatical unit. So in English grammar, a phrase is a group of words. It can be more than two words functioning as a meaningful unit within a sentence or clause. So a phrase is commonly characterized as a grammatical unit at a level between a word and a clause. Right? So a phrase is made up of, we can say, can be made up of a noun and adverbs containing prepositions, but at the same time a phrase cannot contain a subject and verb. Phrase actually gives us meaning but not complete meaning. Let me explain with examples. Here you can see on the road. It's a phrase, right? It is giving us meaning. It's a group of words which contain actually three words, but there is a noun, road, but there is no verb. So keep it in your mind. A phrase can contain subject or verb, but not both at the same time. It's a grammatical unit which gives us meaning but not complete meaning. It's the part of a sentence or a clause. So in second example you can see the teacher Mr. Awaz. Here Mr. Awaz is the name. It's a phrase, right? In third example you can see Sunny likes to eat. So to eat is a phrase in this sentence, and over the river, this is complete a phrase in this. So this is a phrase. Here it's another phrase. Mr. Awaz is a phrase. On the road is a phrase. These all are the group of words which are giving us meaning but not complete meaning, and these can be called the grammatical unit, which can be the part of sentence or clause. So these all are phrases. Well, here you can see some other examples of phrases. The sun rises in the east. The underlined part is a phrase which is called a prepositional phrase. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. So on a wall is a phrase in this sentence. There came a giant to my door. So to my door is a phrase. He has a chain of gold. Of gold is phrase in this sentence. So phrases are the part of sentences or clauses which gives us extra meaning in the sentences. For example, here you can see he has a chain. Although it's a complete sentence of gold, it's an extra information which has been added in this sentence. Well, dear students, keep it in your mind. There are different types of phrases, like there can be noun phrases which contain noun. There can be verb phrases which contain the verb along with the definitely adverb, adjective phrases and adverb phrases. Well, it is all about the phrases. There can be prepositional phrases like through my door, on the wall. These all are the prepositional phrases. So there are different types of phrases, but you need to keep it in your mind that phrase is a group of words. It's a grammatical unit which gives us extra information in the clauses or the sentences. It cannot contain both subject and verb at the same time because it's the part of clause or phrase. Well, before moving further, let me tell you about infinitive. The verb that appears after preposition to is called infinitive. And it can be the combo of to plus the first form of verb. Let me explain with example. Sami likes to eat. Keep it in your mind that whenever we do use verb after preposition to, that verb will always be in the first form, which is called the infinitive verb. Right? So Sami likes to eat. Here, eat is infinitive verb. Well, in the second example, you can see he wants to learn more and more. Again, it's infinitive in this sentence because the verb is occurring after the preposition to and the verb is in first form. Another important grammatical concept is gerund. Words that ends with ing but work as a noun are called gerund. These can be called verbal nouns, right? All those words that ends with ing, right? But they work as a noun in the sentence. They perform the function of sentence, although they are verbs. But sometimes in the sentences, they do perform the function of the noun. At that time, they are called gerund or verbal noun. Let me explain with examples. Studying books is very good habit. In this sentence, you can see studying books is very good habit, although studying is a verb. So, but in this sentence, you can see that studying has been used as a subject of this sentence. Studying books is very good habit. That's why we can see that in the first sentence, studying is gerund, it's a verbal noun. In the second sentence, you can see he is studying in this city. So here, studying has been used as a verb. So we cannot say that it's a gerund here, it's a verb here. You will identify on the basis of its function in the sentence that for what purpose and at which place the particular word has been used. If it has been used as a subject or object of the sentence, then definitely it's a noun, verbal noun, and we will call it gerund. But if it is used as the verb of a sentence, then definitely we will call it verb. So smoking is injurious for health. Here smoking is the subject of the sentence. It's gerund. He is smoking. In this sentence, smoking has been used as a function, as an action which is being performed by he. Right? So smoking here in this sentence is verb. Well, in other sentence, you can see gardening is my hobby. Gardening here has been used as a subject in the sentence. It's a verbal noun. It's gerund. Well, in next example, you can see he is gardening. So he is performing the function. Right? So gardening here has been used as a function, as a verb. So we can say that it's not a gerund, but it's a verb. So keep it in your mind that you will identify on the basis of function, on the basis of place, at which place certain word has been used. If the word has been used as a noun, as a subject or object, then it will be a gerund. Otherwise, it will be a verb. I hope the concept of gerund is clear in your mind now. Well, after phrase, let me tell you about the clause. It's a higher level in the construction of the sentences. Well, a clause is a group of words with both a subject and a verb. This is the definition of clause. It's a part of sentence. It has two types, dependent clause and independent clause. A clause is the basic unit of grammar. A clause must contain a verb. Typically, a clause is made of a subject, a verb phrase, and sometimes a complement. It can be defined as a clause is comprised of a group of words which includes a subject and a finite verb. So clause contains only one subject and one verb, right? And there are two types of clauses which I'll explain one by one, dependent and independent clauses. Well, let me explain the types, dependent and independent clauses with the examples of sentences. So, first sentence, I met him in the ground when he was going somewhere. Now we will analyze this sentence keeping in mind the dependent and independent clauses. But let me tell you first the definition of independent and dependent clause. An independent clause is a group of words, right, that contains a subject and verb and expresses a complete thought. Here you can see, as the name implies, that independent clause means which is independent. So independent clause contains subject and verb and it expresses always the complete thought. But when we talk about the dependent clause, so dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and verb but does not express the complete thought, because dependent clause always gives us complete thought when it has been combined with the independent clause. So let me explain with examples. Here I told you about the sentence, I met him in the ground when he was going somewhere. Right, in this complete sentence there are two clauses. One is independent clause and other is dependent clause. I met him in the ground. This is a complete, we can say, an independent clause, right? Because it contains the subject, it contains the verb, it contains the object, right? It is given a complete thought. But the next part of the sentence, when he was going somewhere, it's dependent clause because it cannot give us complete thought, complete idea and meaning without the combination of the independent clause. So it needs independent clause for giving us complete meaning. So these two are the clauses. One is independent clause and other is dependent clause. Here you can see he has a chain of gold. I already told you that of gold, it's a phrase which is giving us extra information. But what about he has a chain? You can analyze he is a subject, has is a verb, chain is object. So it is giving us complete idea. It's independent clause, right? Here you can see what is made up of gold. This is the extra detail. It contains the verb, contains the subject, right? But it is not giving us the complete thought. That's why we can see that it is dependent clause which is giving us complete idea when it is combined with the independent clause. So such a group of words which forms part of a sentence and contains a subject and a predicate is called a clause. I hope the ideas are pretty clear, but I'll explain further about independent clauses. A complete thought that can stand alone is called independent clause. And dependent clause, a group of words with both a subject and a verb, cannot stand alone or it is a fragment and can't convey full meaning. Let me explain with further examples. The dog who lives by me is nice. So in this sentence you can see there are two clauses. The dog is nice is independent clause, right? Who lives by me is dependent clause. The show that I watch is good, right? So the show is good. It's an independent thought. That I watch It's not complete thought, it's independent clause. So independent clause gives us complete meaning when it is combined with the dependent clause. Allama Iqbal is the author. It's an independent clause who wrote many poems. This is independent clause. So in this way we do make sentences. Let me tell you about sentences. Sentences, meaningful combination of words, right? So a group of words which makes complete sentence, complete sense, complete idea is called a sentence. That have a subject and predicate, to verb and other object. Predicate, verb and object is called predicate. So a group of words which is giving us complete meaning, which is a combination of words which contain subject and predicate, is called a sentence. That convey a statement, question, feeling and idea. So any group of words which convey a statement, a question, feeling and idea is called a sentence. Keep it in your mind. A sentence can contain phrases and clauses, right? Because phrase is the smallest unit and clause is a group of words which contain subject and verb, but it's the part of sentence. And there are two kinds of clauses which I already explained. As I explained that sentence is the combination of subject and predicate, so let me tell you about subject. So the subject is what or whom the sentence is about in the form of noun or pronoun. Keep it in your mind that for whom that we are talking, for whom the function is being performed in the sentence is called the subject. It can be the noun, it can be the pronoun, right? So what is predicate? The predicate tells something about the subject in the form of a verb and object. Keep it in your mind, verb plus object will be the predicate of a sentence. Subject will be the noun or pronoun and predicate is the combination of verb or object. If the object is missing, then only the verb will be the predicate of the sentence. And sentence is a combination of verb and predicate. Verb has already been explained to all of you. The word in a sentence that expresses an action, an utterance or state of being is called a verb. And verb is called the soul of a sentence because a single verb can be a sentence. But without verb, we cannot make a sentence. So, what is object in a sentence? Object in a sentence is the entity that is acted upon by the subject in the form of noun or pronoun. Keep it in your mind that subject and object will always be noun or pronoun. Right? Subject is something for whom the action is being performed. But object is something which is, it is the entity that is acted upon by the subject, right? So sentence is the combination of subject plus predicate. So predicate contains verb and object. Well, every sentence has two essential parts, subject and predicate. The subject of a sentence is the part which something is being said, right? And the predicate of a sentence is part which says something about the subject. The flower bloomed. In this sentence, the flower is subject. Bloomed is verb, it's the predicate, although there is no object here. He painted, he is the subject and painting is painted is predicate. She played, she is the subject, played is predicate. The girls in the team were all good students. So the girls in the team is the subject, were all good students is the predicate. He plays the piano well. Here you can say plays the piano well is predicate in this sentence. I hope the sentence is pretty clear in your mind now. So let me tell you about the kinds of sentences. Assertive sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative, and exclamatory. These are the four kinds of sentences. So let me explain one by one about the kinds of sentences. First of all, assertive sentences. A sentence that makes a statement or assertion that is called declaration, right? So assertive sentences can be called declarative sentences. These are the simple statements. For example, he delivers a lecture on poverty. He is an intelligent student. He is listening to me. These are the simple statements. So these all are the sentences which fall under the type of assertive. Second type of sentence is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are question sentences. A sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence. Here you can see an example, where are you doing now? Where are you going now? Alright? So what are you doing now? So these are the examples, these are the questions. In second example, you can see, what did you eat yesterday? Again, the question has been asked here and there is a question mark. Did you beat our servant yesterday? Again, a question, interrogative sentence. Will you go to Lahore tomorrow? Again, a question. These all are interrogative sentences. Keep it in your mind that questions can be made by using 5 W's, where, when, who, what, which, and questions can be made by using 1H, how questions. Question can be made by using the helping verb as the first part of the sentence, starting sentence, as here you can see in the sentence, will you go to Lahore tomorrow? So, in different ways, the questions can be made, but all the question sentences will fall under the category of interrogative sentences. The third kind is imperative sentences. A sentence that expresses a command or an entreaty is called an imperative sentence. Means when you are giving an order, get out of my office. It's an imperative sentence. Please forgive me this time. The request and commands all will fall under the category of imperative sentences. Never tell a lie. This is again an imperative sentence. While the fourth kind is exclamatory sentences. A sentence that expresses strong sudden feelings is called an exclamatory sentence. What a beautiful horse I have bought. Here, the speaker is expressing feelings, emotions. So this is an exclamatory sentence. How old this woman is. Next sentence you can see, alas, so we have lost it. Bravo, you have done well in this paper. So all the sentences which are expressing some sudden feelings and strong emotions are called exclamatory sentences. Well, these four are the kinds of sentences. Here I have a small exercise for all of you, and you will identify that which sentence fall under which category, whether the first sentence is interrogative, exclamatory sentence, assertive sentence, or interrogative sentence, right? So you just have to identify all these sentences, and then you will discuss with me in the discussion room in the coming class, right? So I hope all these points are pretty clear in your mind. Dear students, in today's class you learned about the building blocks of writing, which are very important for learning, for understanding when you are going to improve your writing skills, when you are going to learn your writing skills. I hope all these points are pretty clear in your mind. In case of any confusion, you can post your queries in the discussion room and in the WhatsApp group. Here I'll wind up the session. Take care. Allah Hafiz.